All right, welcome to the video. We are going to be building our marble mazes today. I'm trying to find mine. There it is. So we're going to start by learning how to create the base, this bottom piece first, how to size it up properly so everything works out great. And then we'll set up also some parameters for the width of the lane and the thickness of the wood and the size of the holes. And this time we're not doing like in the box. We did that so that we could build everything off of that and make it scalable. This, we're not worried about scalability because we're not going to like make it twice as big or something weird like that. So we're going to do it for convenience. So instead of having to type in the same number every time, we can just quickly say, you know, T for thickness or L for lane width or any other thing we have going on. So the nice thing about these is the lane width here, the width of each little one lane, is 2.5 centimeters plus a thickness of the piece of wood. So we got to add that on because if we just go like 3 lanes over, we're going to be going through 3 pieces of wood as well as 3 open spots. So we've got to add in a thickness of wood for every lane so we don't ignore the fact that this, you know, each wall has some thickness to it. So that's what we'll be doing today. So let's get started. Let's start by saving our file. I'm going to call mine Marble Maze. I'm going to do 10 by 10. You can call yours whatever you want. Just make sure that it's something where if you see it later, you'll understand what it is. I'm doing this is the 8 by 8 maze. I'm going to do a bigger one, 10 by 10 maze. So that's why I named mine 10 by 10. And then I'm going to store it in a marble maze location. If you won't have this already, so make sure you come down here and click on New Project, type in marble mazes, and then use that location. I'm going to hit Save. Awesome. So now we're ready to get started with parameters. So first thing I'm going to do is go to Modify and do a Change Parameter. I'm going to add a user parameter. I'm going to call this Thickness. And just like we've done in the past, I'm going to define my 3mm plywood, which is really 0.275. And I'm going to just say Material Thickness here. For the comments, so I know what it is later, and click OK. Now, instead of typing in this number every single time, I just type in T and enter, and it has that in there for me. Piece of cake. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do is the hole. So I'm going to type in hole. This is going to be the diameter of the hole, and it's 1.5 centimeters. So it's 1.5 centimeters across. Our marble is about 1.3 to 1.4, depending on which marble you get. And so this is, I'm going to just say the diameter of the hole. Whoops, of the hole. So every time I cut a hole, all I have to do is type in the letter H, and then it'll pop in right away the whole diameter of the hole. Piece of cake. And the last one I do is the lane. So each lane, well, let me just write it in first. And the width and length are the same. So the 2 dimensions are the same on this. So that makes it nice. It's going to be 2.5 centimeters plus a thickness of a wall. And that'll move me over 1 lane. And then another 2.5 thickness of a wall is the second lane. So I can keep track of it that way. And I'm going to say, so this is the width of the lane plus a wall thickness. Just to remind myself of what this thing is. All right, I've got my 3 parameters set up. I think those are the 3 we'll need. If we need more, we can always add more later. I'm going to click OK. And now I want the full width. So I want to go, this wall counts for this lane. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. But I have 1 extra wall over here at the end. So the whole width of my bottom has to be 10 lanes. Remember, a lane is the opening plus a wall, plus an extra wall for the very end that I hadn't counted yet. All right, so then I just need a box. I'm going to start with on the bottom, so it's, because I'm doing the bottom of the box, or the maze. I'm going to click on the origin, and I'm going to call this one lane. All right, so that's 1 lane. I want 10 of them, so times 10. And then I want to add 1 quick thickness to it for that last wall. So here I'm just going to do plus T, enter, enter. Oops, I forgot to do the other side. So I'm going to dimension this side, click here, pull this down. And I want the same thing here. So I want 10 lanes. So actually I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 10 times the lane. So I want 10 of them. And then I need one more thickness for that outside wall to go onto. So one more thickness. Enter. And now we have it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude the bottom of the base. And I'm going to extrude it out one thickness and click OK. Now I'm going to go back to home, and there's the bottom. That's what the marble is going to roll around on. All right. Now what I need to do is start positioning some walls. So I got to figure out where my first wall is going to go. And I think on my drawing, let's see. So when the word top is like straight up is like legible like this, I can't speak today, that's for me going to be this way. So my lower right hand corner is going to be my finish, and I'm going to start by building, let's say, this wall right here. So this wall is 1, 2, 3 lanes over. Now when I'm measuring distances from one edge to the other, I don't have to add an extra wall thickness when it's just like how far I am from something. So that's just going to be 1, 2, 3 lanes from the edge, from this bottom right-hand corner. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to come here, create a sketch on my base, grab a rectangle. I'm going to put it anywhere. I am going to touch it to this bottom line, though. I'm going to go out here. Now, the width of the wall is the thickness of the material. So I'm going to say here, that should be thickness. And then here, I got to figure out how long I want my wall to be. So for me, this wall is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes plus a wall thickness to get it through this wall. Because we want these walls to be overlapping each other so we can build joints in later. So I need to have 6 lanes plus an extra wall. So when you're measuring the distance of all your walls, how long the wall is, you always add one more thickness in the end just to get through that last wall. If you're measuring how far you are from somewhere, you don't add the thickness. So those are two important things to remember. So on this one, I needed 6 times lane plus that one extra thickness to get through that last wall so we can build a joint with it. I'm going to hit enter, and notice that the rectangle is blue. That's because I haven't placed it left or right yet. So I need to dimension that real quick. I'm going to hit the D key for dimension. I'm going to click on this inside part of the wall and to this outside edge. And I need that to be, right here, I need that to be 1, 2, 3 lanes over. So down here, I'm going to do 3 times lane. That's just position the wall. Now here's why I don't have to do the extra thickness. Notice when I did this distance, this 3 times lane distance, I did it to the near face of the wall. If I did a dimensioning to the back side of the wall, I have to do 3 times lane plus thickness. But because I'm always going to be doing it to the near side of the wall, I don't have to add that extra thickness in there. Hopefully that makes sense. I just need 3 times lane, no plus thickness. Enter. Awesome. So now it's positioned right where it's supposed to be. So that does it. That's my first wall. Now I'm going to build the next wall, which is going to be, for me, right here. Now the location of this wall is 1, 2, 3 lanes up. So I'm going to just draw a rectangle over and then position it. Let's do that. Oh wait, sorry, let's extrude first. We didn't extrude this. So I'm going to E for extrude. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to grab the wall. Now this one I'm going to do something a little strange. I'm going to do a dual extrusion. I'm going to extrude it up and down, and we'll talk about why in a second. So I want a 2-sided extrusion. This top side, I'm going to go 2 centimeters up. That's going to be the actual wall the marble's inside of. So I'm going to say this one, it should be 2 centimeters. Then I'm going to hit tab. And I'm going to come down here to the next one that says distance. Now this one, I want to extrude, because I'm on the top of the base right now. I want to extrude the wall through the base so that there's room to make a joint in there. So I'm going to say this one should be a thickness down. I'm going to hit tab. Whoops, I didn't take it. Thickness, enter. And notice it's assuming I want to cut now because I went through the material. So I'm going to say, nope, I don't want to cut. I want to actually create a new body. I don't want join, otherwise I can't pull them apart and create a joint. I want to say I want a brand new body. And I'm going to click OK. Now I just created my first wall, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this one. Let me go over to my bodies here. And let's, whoops, turn back on. Let's name body 1, which is the base. Just what it is, base. Except I cannot type it all. There it is, base. And we're going to name body 2. We're going to name this one wall 1. And on my drawing, I'm going to put a 1 next to it. So you can see where I put a 1 right there. I probably shouldn't have circled because now it looks like it's supposed to be a hole. So I'm just going to put a 1 there. And the next thing I'm going to make this wall next. And maybe what I want to do is I want to go through my drawing real quick and just number all the ones in what order I think I'm going to make them in. So for me, it's going to be this one, that one, this one. Then I'm going to come back up here and make this one at the corner and just start following them around. Then I'll make this long one and then this one and that one. And just kind of figuring out where stuff goes. If I get stuck and can't figure out how to make a wall, that's okay. I'll make the walls on the other side and come back to it another way. So I just got to figure out how to do everything. Remember, when you're measuring distances from something to the wall, you don't add the extra thickness. When you're measuring the length of an actual wall, it's got to be the plus extra thickness, plus 1 thickness. All right, so here we go. Let's do like 2 or 3 more together. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to do this one, and then I'll pause the video and let you kind of just work all the way through all of your walls. And I'll keep making all my walls on this video, but you could skip the rest. But stick with me for a few more walls just to make sure you understand how to do it. All right, so let's go back to the top view. And what I'm going to do now is I want to make my next wall. So I'm going to create a sketch on the base. And this time I need to make this wall where it's overlapping this. But if I hide this wall to get it out of the way, notice I can't see where it is. So my first step is to create a projection. So I'm going to do a projection. And I can do either project or intersect. I'm going to do intersect because this tells me wherever this object well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do projection. I think it's easier to do. So projection, I'm going to select this whole top face and see how it's drawn that purple rectangle down there. Now I know. I'm going to say OK to that. And now I'm going to hide this wall. And now on my sketch, I can see exactly where that wall is. So then everything's good. Now I just need to draw my next wall. So my next wall starts at right here. And it's 1, 2, 3 lanes from the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roughly sketch over a rectangle. Notice I'm starting on the back side of it. So I want each wall to go through the other wall. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to come over here. And I don't even care if I have the right height yet. I'll adjust up and down just a second. So that's the thickness of the wall. And then I need it to go 2 lanes. Remember, 2 lanes plus another thickness to get through this next wall. So the length of it here is going to be 2 times lane plus a thickness. That's the right length and distance. It's blue because I haven't positioned it yet. And now I need to position it from this wall down here. And it should be 1, 2, 3 lanes from the end without the extra thickness. So I'm going to dimension. And I'm going to dimension the near side down to this one. And I'm going to say that should just be 3 times lane for my drawing. Enter one more time and it'll position it. And that's right where it's supposed to go. So now all I need to do is extrude this. So I'm going to hit E for extrude. I'm going to click here. Now watch what happens. It doesn't pick up this last little bit. I want to extrude that too because I want both walls to be overlapping each other so I can cut joints into them later. So I just did extrusion, and now I'm going to do a 2-sided extrusion again. So let me zoom out so we can see what's going on here. The first, I'm going to do 2-sided. The first side, 2 centimeters. The bottom side, I'm going to extrude downward 1 thickness to get through the material. And I'm going to say new body and click OK. Body 3, I'm going to call wall 2. And now I'm ready to make my next wall. So my next wall comes off of wall 2 and goes up here to wall 3. So I'm going to label that one 3. And I'm going to click on the base, create a sketch on the base. I want to know where this wall is in my drawing. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say create a projection. Project this rectangle onto my drawing. I'm going to click OK for the projection. And then I'm going to hide wall 2. And that's where wall 2 is. So now I just need to do wall 3. And wall 3 goes up from here, one lane up. So I'm going to start at this corner right here of the wall. So make sure you get on that corner. And then I'm going to come up. It's going to be thickness down there. And here is going to be one lane. So 1 times lane, or just lane, right? 1 times lane doesn't do anything. Plus, remember, 1 thickness because it's the length of a wall. I want to get through the next one if there was one there. And then hit enter. And notice this one's black because I started on the corner of this wall, so I located it. It was positioned in space well. Now I'm going to hit extrude. I'm going to click on the main part of the wall and that little extra little piece. Don't forget that little piece. And then I'm going to rotate, see which way it's going. I'm going to do a 2-sided extrusion, 2 centimeters up, tab, tab, and thickness down. Change this to new body, and OK. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change body 4 to wall 3. Now bear with me for one more wall before you go off and do your own thing. Let me turn these walls back on. We can see what it looks like so far. So far I've got a pretty good representation of it, right? Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm going to do this wall over here, but I'm going to intentionally make a mistake as I do it so you can see what to do when you make a mistake. So to know where this one goes, I need to know this wall. Project this wall right here down to the base. And that way I can find the corner for going over there. And it's 3 to the left here. So it goes 3 to the left this way. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to create a sketch on the base here. I'm going to do create. I'm going to project wall 1 right here down to the ground and click OK. And now I'm going to hide wall 1 so it's not in the way when I'm trying to do stuff. And I'm going to create a rectangle from this top corner that goes this way, 3 lanes. Remember, 3 lanes plus an extra thickness. So this side's thickness, tab. This is 3 times lane plus thickness. And to do this, what I'm typing is 3 and then the asterisk on the number key if you have one. 3 asterisk, just the letter L, hit enter, and then plus the letter T and hit enter again. And then it puts there, and then hit enter one more time. All right. Now, actually, let me undo that. Let me do it one more time. I'm going to make the intentional mistake here. I forgot to do that, of not putting the plus thickness on it. So here, I'm going to do 3 times lane, enter. Awesome. And now I'm going to extrude it. I'm going to click this one and this one, and I'm going to do a 2-sided extrusion. Actually, I'm going to make another mistake. I'm going to do a 1-sided extrusion. So I have a 2-sided extrusion and do 2 centimeters. And I'm going to say join instead of creating a new body, right? So I'm going to make 3 mistakes so far. I'm going to click OK. All right, now I'm going to turn wall 1 back on so I can see what's going on. Okay, everything looks great, except I noticed something weird. All of these have like a gray transition between the wall and the thing, and this one has a black line. So if I turn the base off, watch what, oh no. And when I turn the base off, my wall disappears. That's because I made this wall, I joined it as part of the base. So I'm like, oh, what do? I could just Control Z and undo everything. But let me show you a slick way of doing it. First of all, I also noticed that this wasn't wide enough. I needed to add the thickness to this width. You might discover this several steps away. Here's what you can do. Come back to your timeline here and just click on each thing. And notice it shows you what drawings there were in that drawing. This was for this wall right here because it has this drawing right there. So that sketch right there, I know it makes this wall. Another way of doing it, if I click on this, it shows me in my timeline this was the extrusion that made that piece. So I could come back here and I could know, okay, so the sketch right before it is probably for that piece. But this is the one I made a mistake on. So I'm going to click on this one and say, okay, look, there's the extrusion. So if I'm not in a sketch or anything, I can do this. I can right click here and go edit feature. If you don't have an edit feature, it's probably because you're inside a sketch or you have like a window open or something. You have to close all the windows out before you can do this. So once I have closed all the windows, I come up here, I go edit feature, and now I can say, okay, oh, there it was. I should have, instead of join, I should have said new body. So I just fixed that. And instead of one side, I should have done two-sided, and the bottom one should have been thickness, T, enter. And yep, new body, and now I'm going to click OK. And now it looks just like the other ones. You can see how it goes below the surface there. So I can now change this one to wall form. Okay, so I fixed that. Perfect. But I did not fix how wide it was. I couldn't fix it there. So I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do? I need to come back here. Yep, there's that one because I see it has the rectangle for this wall. So I'm going to right click on this sketch. Again, all my windows have to be closed right now. If they're not closed, I won't get this option. Click edit sketch. And I'm going to come here and go, oh, all right, this is the one I need to change. I'm going to double click on it. I'm just going to say here, plus T, enter, enter, and just made it wider. And then when I leave this sketch, I say finish sketch. Fusion runs through and does all the other steps that are after this one and rebuilds it for you with that in there. So it's wicked cool. Now it's just where it's supposed to be. So that's fixing mistakes with these. You can also fix mistakes by just going Control Z. But one thing I found, I made a mistake on my first wall that I built. And then I went through all these other walls and didn't find it till the end. And I was like, ah! So I was able to go back without having to Control Z and undo everything I did and fix it in like 5 seconds. So powerful tool. Remember, if you click on it, it'll show you about where that thing was in your timeline. You can find out where the sketches are from there. All right, so at this point, I'm not going to show you anything new. I'm just going to go in and build these other 45 million walls. I'm not going to do the outside 4 walls yet. Hold off on those. I'm going to do all just the inside ones. The next video will show you how to do the exterior walls. We're going to do some special stuff to those. All right, so if you want to keep watching this video and doing the same maze I'm doing, that's fine. If you want to just go work on your own maze, that's awesome too. There'll be nothing new for you in the rest of this. All right, next thing's next. So I kind of made an F already. So now I'm going to build this long wall here. And positioning it is going to be a little, no, it won't be, it'll be easy. So when I build this wall, I'm going to drag it out here, size it just right, and then I'm just going to dimension it from here to here, 2 lanes from this side, so I can get it in the right position. Okay, so I'm going to create a sketch on the base. I'm going to create a projection of that last wall I was doing. I can start using the P key actually instead of going through all that. I just notice that and click OK. And now I'm going to hide wall 4. Yep. And I'm going to build another wall in. And I'm not going to put it right here because it'll lock it on that corner. So I'm just going to come up a little bit from this one and then just make a rectangle anywhere. I don't care where. Thickness, enter. And then tab. And this one should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes. And of course, because it's the length of a wall, I'm going to do a plus thickness. And notice I want it inside this wall, not on this side. I want it on this side. So I'm going to do 6 times lane, enter, enter. Now notice it's in the totally wrong place. Like that's not where I want this wall. I'm going to do a dimension now from this edge to this edge. And that one should be, for me, it should be 2 lanes wide. So 2 lanes. Oops, sorry, 2 times lane, enter. And that is where that one should be. Now I'm ready to extrude that wall. This one's going to require 3 pieces. The top one, the bottom one, and the middle one. I'm going to do a 2-second or 2-sided extrusion. The up is going to be 2. The bottom is going to be thickness. And I'm going to change cut to new body and click OK. Change body 6 to wall 5. and label my drawing wall 5. All right, so now I'm doing well. Oh, I'm missing a wall. I'm missing wall 4. Let me turn wall 4 back on so I don't try and remake wall 4 again. So now I have those two. I'm gonna make these two little walls going over. 2 over and a 1 down. So let's see. Create a sketch on the bottom. Grab my rectangle tool. I'm going to create, I'm just going to use the letter P, escape. I'm going to use the letter P for projection. And I'm going to project that whole rectangle, that whole wall right there. And I'm going to say OK. And now I'm going to hide wall 5. And I'm going to create my rectangle right there and over. So that should be thickness. Tab, and this one should be 2 lanes. 2 times lane plus a thickness. Enter, enter, and there it is. And now I'm going to dimension it. Now this one I'm going to dimension from either side I want. So this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lanes from the top. So I'm going to do a dimension 5 lanes to the top. And here I'm going to say 5 times lane. Enter, enter. Now another thing I could have done is I could have done a dimension of 2.5 centimeters between these inside ones. Because remember, the word lane has a hallway width plus a wall width. So I could have done a dimension from here to here is 2.5 instead of lane, or I could have done it from this side to the outside as a lane width. It's like all of them. All right, so at this point I'm going to hit extrude. So E for extrude. I'm going to grab this wall. I'm going to grab this wall, and I'm going to extrude them. 2-sided extrusion. The top one is 2 centimeters. The bottom one is thickness. Thickness, and then I'm going to want to create a new body and click OK. And this one is going to be wall 6. I'm going to mark my drawing. And then now wall 7, I'm going to create another sketch down here. I'm going to do P for project. I'm going to project this surface. I want one wall going from here down. I'm going to say OK on the projection. I'm going to hide wall 6, grab my tool, put it right here in the corner, and then I'm going to just come down. Thickness, whoops. Well, that was terrible. I'm going to double click on this dimension here. Clicked on too many things. Enter. And now I'm going to dimension this other side. So I'm going to dimension this side of the rectangle. And then this one should be 1 lane plus a thickness. So lane, enter, plus a thickness, enter, enter. And it's all good. Now I'm going to extrude this wall. I'm going to extrude that little piece and that little piece. 2-side extrusion, 2, and thickness. And create a new body. OK. And body 8 will be wall 7. I'm going to turn all these back on just so I can kind of get a feel, go back out to the front, and I'm just going to check my drawing real quick. And everything looks pretty good. Yep, because there's my start. It rolls out this way. I have to go through here, and then ready to rock and roll. So at the bottom of this wall, I'm going to create this little side piece next. Let's do that. Again, I'm going to click down here. Nope, I'm going to do a projection. I want to know where this face is. Click OK. I'm going to hide this wall, which is wall 5. Notice how when I went on the wall, it showed me which wall it was. So I'm going to hide wall 5. And now, oops. I don't want to start at one of these corners or I'll fix it in place. I'm going to go to the corner, then come out. Notice how it's keeping me lined up. And then I'm going to start my rectangle right there. I'm going to call that side thickness. And this side needs to be 3 widths plus a thickness. So 3 times lane plus a thickness. Remember, whenever I'm sizing a wall, I got to always add an extra thickness on there. I'm going to hit enter. And now it's not in the right place, left and right, but I know on my drawing that this wall ends 2 lanes from the left side. So I'm just going to dimension that left side then. So I'm going to go here and say from this side to this one should be 2 times lane. And right there it should be. And now I'm going to extrude all 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. 2-side extrusion. 2 centimeters thickness and new body. Okay. And body 9 becomes wall 8. Turn on wall 5 again. One time. I'm at 31 minutes already, my friend. This is going to be a long one. All right, so all my walls are on. I've got to make my next walls. So I've gotten quite a bit done. I've gotten all these done. I just need to make this little hook, this one, and that one. So I'm going to come back up here and do this one. I'm going to go from my top right over 2 lanes and then come down with a wall. And that wall is 3 lanes. Create a sketch. Come over here, I don't know, about-ish. I'm going to put it around the edge of the wall there. Call that one thickness. The next one, this one should be 3 times lane. Good. I'm going to hit enter. Now it's not in the right place yet, so I'm just going to dimension this. Click here to this side, and this should be 2 lanes over. Enter. Now it's right in the right place. And the reason I only did 2 lanes again, remember, it doesn't include this wall thickness, so it's on this side of the wall, so I don't need that wall thickness. All right, and now I'm going to extrude this. Click here. I'm going to do a 2-side extrusion. 2, tab, thickness. And I'm going to come down here and say, nope, new body. Click OK. And body 10 is going to be wall 9. I'm going to update my drawing with 9, 10 on it. And that's all good. And now I need a wall on mine that goes 3 lanes out this way. So I'm going to create a new sketch. I'm going to do P for project. I'm going to project this top surface down. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to hide wall 9 so it's not in my way. And I'm going to start at that corner because I want to be fixed to that corner. And I'm going to come over here, call that thickness. And then this one is 3 times lane, enter, plus T, enter, thickness, and enter. I'm going to extrude this wall. I'm going to do a 2-side extrusion, 2 centimeters. Distance is thickness down, enter, and then instead of cut, I'm going to do new body. Yep, and I'm going to say OK. Is wall 10. Awesome. And now I need to place this wall right here. I'm going to do a couple different things. So it's 1 lane from the top and 1, 2, 3 lanes from the right. So I'll do that. I'm just going to grab a rectangle. Oops, yep, I'm going to sketch on here. I'm going to just do a rectangle anywhere. It doesn't matter because I'm going to find it top and bottom. Call that side thickness. This other side is lane plus thickness. And then I'm going to hit enter. And now I'm going to dimension it from this near side to here. Should be just a lane. Enter. And from this side to this edge on my drawing should be 1, 2, 3 lanes. I don't need a thickness on this one, an extra thickness. So enter, enter, and that's right where it's supposed to be. And now I need to go 1 down and then like how many over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over. So I'm going to do those real quick. I'm going to create, extrude this first, sorry. Extrude, two-sided, 2 centimeters, and new body. And this was wall 11. I'm going to update my drawing. 11, 12, and 13. Now, if everything's right when I build a wall down and then a wall over, it should overlap perfectly with this wall. We'll see. We'll see how well we did when that happens. If it doesn't overlap, we're going to have to either fudge it by extruding it out a little bit more and having a messed up lane, or better yet, go back and find the mistake and fix it. It's just a matter of looking at that point and finding it. All right, so new sketch, bottom. I'm going to project this face. Come on, there we go. This face onto the bottom. I'm going to hide wall 11. And I'm going to draw one at this corner coming down. Remember, you want to be on the inside of the wall, not on the outside of the wall. So make sure that's always true. If you're on the wrong side, it will throw off all your measurements from that point on. And then here should be lane. For me, it's 1 lane thick. Remember, it's a wall, so you need to do an extra thickness. Awesome. Enter, extrude these 2 pieces, two-sided, 2 centimeters thickness, and then new body. Okay. And body 13 becomes wall 12. And again. So create a sketch on the bottom. We're going to project the letter P, this, click OK. I'm going to hide 12 now, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle. Again, I don't want to start this rectangle because, oh yeah, I do. That one's supposed to start right in that corner. So I'm going to start in this corner, drag it this direction. That should be thickness, enter. This next one should be 6 lanes. So it's going to be 6 times lane plus thickness. Ooh, we were good. Look how well that went right through that wall like it was supposed to. I am stoked. So, whoops, keep it on that side. Everything looks right. Click or enter. That does it right there. And now I'm going to extrude this. I'm going to extrude it as 2 pieces, that one and that one. Two-sided extrusion, 2 centimeters thickness. Uh-oh. There it goes. Thickness and new body. Click OK. And body 14 is going to become wall 13. Enter. And now we're all good. That's that one. And now I just need... I need 2 more. For mine, I just need 2 more. I need 1 here and 1 there. So that's going to be wall 14 and 15 for me. So this first one, I'm just going to create a rectangle right in the middle of nowhere, size it up right, and then I'm going to position it 3 from the top and 2 from the left. All right, so I'm going to create a sketch on the base. I'm going to use a rectangle. That side should be thickness. This side should be lane. And because it's a wall width, I'm going to do plus a thickness always. Enter, enter. Now it's not in the right place yet, so I got to dimension both sides. I've got to say, all right, this from here to this side wall on my drawing is 2 lanes. So I'm going to do 2 times lane. And because it's a distance, I'm not going to add that thickness to it. And then it's 1, 2, 3 from the top for me. So then from this top face to this one should be 3 times lane. And here, if you had chosen to go from this bottom line all the way up to here, you would do 3 times lane plus the additional thickness you added in there. Enter. And that's just right. Nice. And now you just need to extrude this. It's in the right place. Here, I'm going to do a 2-sided extrusion. 2 centimeters. Thickness. And new body. I'm going to click OK. And this is going to be wall 14. I only have 1 wall left for my interior walls. All right, awesome. So next thing I'm going to do is create a sketch. I need to create a wall going down there, one size for me. So there's that. I'm going to project the last wall I built because I want to see where it is. And the reason I project is, check this out. If I don't project and I try to draw a rectangle, I can't see all those, like this is like the grid that I'm on. That when you see that little rectangle around the crosshairs, you're on the grid. I can't find that corner because it's not actually on the, it's not on that plane. The corner is way up here above the plane. So to get it down onto the plane, that's what the project tool does. So I'm going to use P for project. I'm going to say project that. Now it's drawn that line on there. I click OK. And now I don't have to hide the wall if I don't want to. I can just do it with the wall in the way, but it makes things easier to see without the wall there. But you can see I can just grab that back corner because I want to be inside those two walls. And thickness, oh, that's not right. This one should be thickness, and this one should be lane. And because it's a wall width, we need to add an extra thickness at the end. Awesome. Enter. And now we're going to do an extrusion. We're going to extrude this piece and that piece. We're going to do a two-sided extrusion. And we're going to do 2 centimeters. And we're going to do the other dimension as thickness. And then a new body, and click OK. And body 16 becomes wall 15. Enter. And I'm pretty sure that's done. So what I'm going to do is make sure all my walls are visible. And then I'm going to go out to home and zoom out. And I'm just going to check. I think so. Like, I'm going to just check for everything. Make sure. Oh, one other thing to do is if you accidentally joined any of your walls, the last thing you can do is hide the base. And all the walls should still be there. If a wall disappeared, it means that wall was extruded as a join command instead of a new body command. And then all you have to do is go back and figure out which wall disappeared. And then just kind of figure out which extrusion was the wrong one, right click on it and do an edit feature. So there's my maze. That's it for this video. The next video, what I'm going to show you to do is how to create all of these outside walls. And then what else? Modeling exterior walls. I was just checking my list of what videos I was doing. And yeah, so we'll hold off on that. So the next thing will be for exterior walls. We're going to build in enough space so that we can have a little compartment underneath the base to catch the marble. When it comes down, you can roll it out of the compartment. All right, best of luck to you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.